Hello noble ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking, and boy oh boy the topic that I've chosen today. If there is one topic that gets people really riled up, is AI art. In fact, even the simple fact that I called it art is gonna get me some hateful comments down below. There are a lot of websites that provide, either free or through payment, the services, though the ability to write some prompts and generate art. And the situation is really spreading out to a point that I think it's important to have an opinion and kind of make it known and join the discussion, if you will. Here is, for example, an AI art generator. Describe what you want to see, describe what you don't want to see. You put in the prompts, and then it's going to generate something. Now, there are several reasons as to why the topic is spicy. One, of course, is the absolutely justifiable problem that it could and it will take away jobs from real artists, simply because, I mean, some people don't care about how this is created. Some people want something quick, they want something free, as opposed to paying someone for their services and then having to explain things to them and do a little bit of a back and forth and then waiting. Particularly, I think it's waiting, in fact. It's the waiting and the monetary part that are some of the reasons why people choose to utilize AI art whenever they want something made, either for their own personal consumption or maybe for content creation and production. And absolutely, the fact that this can and will affect the ability for people that have put hundreds of hours and years of their life in order to develop a skill, the fact that this can hurt them is a problem and should be discussed and considered as one of the valid criticism against the spread of AI art. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, there are the people that defend AI art, saying that it's simply a tool, something that artists or even regular people can use to enhance their abilities or perhaps even facilitate the production of certain art. Although then again, it's important to also underline the fact that AI art at the moment can create stuff that is really impressive, but it also fails. Like, for instance, if you look at this image, I mean, look at the eyes. They look weird. There is something wrong with this that even I, as a non-artist, can notice. And I'm sure that if a real artist were to look at this, they could notice problems with the lighting or perhaps the shading and several other situations. Sometimes there are anatomical proportions. It seems like it did manage to get the hands somewhat right, but oftentimes that is a massive indicator of AI being involved in the production of any form of picture or painting or representation. Now, even though there is a real critique, oftentimes AI art makes mistakes that a human professional artist wouldn't make. But then again, that could also be brushed up as something that will eventually get fixed as the technology progresses. Now, as someone who doesn't have a horse in the race, I'm not an apologist for AI art, as I don't use it, but at the same time, I'm not an artist, so I'm not someone whose ability to continue to make money would be affected. I think I may be in a position to be able to try to look at both sides, both arguments, and try to figure out the best way to approach this. And here's the thing. As a general rule, personally, I always choose the artist over AI. So whenever I can, if there is an artist who could create a drawing, as I've done it many times in the past for the channel production, I pay them, I pay a real artist so that they make the drawing or the painting or whatever it is that I need, and then I use their work and usually credit them in the description, or if I forget to credit them in the description, I imagine I credit them on the screen, or if they don't want to be credited, as sometimes is the case, then I don't, but I still use the art. I'm a commission guy. I commission people to do art for me, and I do it all the time. Now, as a daily uploader and a daily creator, it has happened with all the videos that I make that sometimes AI art has been used in a couple of videos of mine, simply because one of my editors added it. Unless it's completely horrible, usually I don't ask them to remove it. I did ask them recently to try and not use AI generated art, but it's mostly not because of some morality, but usually that's because if we use an AI generated version of plate armor or Roman armor, it's just horrible. It doesn't know how to do it. And this is, for example, me getting mad at AI art for ruining history. However, I do think that the anti-AI art absolutists are getting to a point that they're throwing reason out the window, and I will demonstrate it in a moment. I'm not an absolutist. I'm not someone who thinks it's like the ultimate sin to have AI art in your endeavors. I'm just someone who doesn't like to use it for his own creations. So with that being said, if this is my stance, then am I not on the same side of the people who are vehemently against it? And am I not against the people who use it? Check this out. Look at my thumbnails. I post a lot, so not every thumbnail is going to be really, really good, but I think I've got, generally speaking, really nice thumbnails. And the thing is that I've recently got someone writing a comment under one of my videos, and he was commending the thumbnails, and he was saying, man, I really love your thumbnails. But then something came over them. Like, look at this one, for example. And they're like, unless you use AI to do them, in which case they are trash. Now, listen, this thumbnail here, I paid $40 to an artist to make them. Last year alone, I think I paid him something like $2,000 out of commissions just for the thumbnails. And the rest of the thumbnails I make myself. But to me, this kind of person, this kind of anti-AI person, is now going too far. You are allowing your ability for critical thinking to be overwhelmed by emotion. You're looking at something that you genuinely like. It's clear that you really enjoyed these thumbnails. And after having said that, oh, I really love your thumbnail. Oh, unless it's AI, then it's trash. Well, no. If you think it's beautiful, it's beautiful. But if you change and say, oh, now it looks horrible, now it's ugly, now it's trash, but then you're not being objective, because you yourself said just a second ago that you really liked it and it looked beautiful. I think that's the part when it gets to a point where you're not being objective anymore. And I've seen this happen on Facebook as I was checking out the posts, Cammy, yay, of this group that is Street Fighter 6. It's a Facebook group I'm a part of with 92,000 followers, subscribers, whatever, members, whatever they're called. And on this group, periodically, you will get some AI art, like for instance this one, and you'll immediately get people getting pissed. Just pick up the pencil, little bro. My, like they will get really pissed. And again, everyone can do whatever they want. I'm always for freedom, but here's the thing. Look at this image. It says anime style. So they took Street Fighter 6 character selection, and then they, I imagine, asked AI to redo it, but in anime style. And it got quite a lot of engagement. God, stop this. It's so cringy. It actually hurts my stomach when I see shit like this. And someone underneath says, love it. Remove this rubbish from my feed, says Andre. Stop it, no please, no. And there are all the people that, it's also possible that this is some kind of rage bait, FAI, so people get really, really mad. But here's the thing, I think this is the part where we are getting to a point where some people are so angry at the very concept of AI art that they will not be real when it comes to their own opinions. So I'm not one of those, and I'm gonna say it. I think the idea is awesome. Do I like this rendition of AI? No, I think the Sakura drawing and the Elena drawing, I don't know if it stole it. We'll get to that part on how it does it. I don't know if it stole it, but if these were actually generated, assembled by AI, I think they're done pretty well. And if they were stolen by someone who is a real artist who drew these, then if I say that these look horrible, I'm insulting the artist now. So which one is it? I mean, if this is real art, real drawings that were stolen by someone, then I shouldn't say the drawings are horrible. Also because they're not. They are objectively not. I really like how both Sakura and Elena are represented here in anime style. In fact, I like them even more than the way they're represented on the original version. But what I don't like about this is how the characters are very recognizable. This is not Blanca, for crying out loud. Ryu and Ken, their eyes are disgusting. I think it's because they're very small. So yeah, I don't think that this is something I would want to see in the real world by the way it's rendered here, but as an idea, I think it's awesome. In fact, I left a comment and I said, I think the idea is really good, and I would buy that. I would absolutely buy a new version of Street Fighter 6 or whatever Street Fighter you want, that is actually made in anime style, the entire game. So all the sprites are redone, all the, maybe they put anime cutscenes in it. Like, I let my imagination fly, look at this, and I am able to distinguish the fact that this was made with AI, which is quite obvious when you look at these little drawings that don't work. And so that, of course, is a problem. I can understand that. But I can still say, man, this idea is awesome. I wish they made a game like this and I would buy it. In fact, the simple fact that the idea is good, anime-style Street Fighter can still be said. And I can still say, I think they both look really cute. Elena looks adorable. Even the letters look better. I like the letters more on this version than this version. And I can be objective about whether or not I like the idea and what is in front of my eyes right now. In fact, if you write Street Fighter 2 Turbo Remix. It's like HD Turbo Remix. What the heck? Yeah, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix is a thing. It's something that they did do. I think it was on PlayStation 2 era, but you can still play it on PlayStation 3 or something. But anyways, it's a version of Street Fighter that they made in collaboration with a studio to basically do this. It's like take the original sprites and have them drawn by professional like anime artists. And honestly, I think it looks sick. I think it looks really cool. Look at that. Look at Ryu and Ken. Here we go, Ryu versus Cammy. Yeah, this is on the channel CGR Rando Toe. I don't know anything about them, but there we go. Yeah, you see, so you can check this out. Like, look, it's Cammy, but I think it looks really nice. There is something about the animation when she falls on the floor and then gets back up. Wait, because I think they did it on purpose. 100% they did it on purpose. The fact that she winks at you when she does this, there's no way they didn't do that on purpose. No way. We got Chun-Li as well. Yeah, Chun-Li, look at that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So I believe that even the idea that this person had when it comes to Street Fighter 6 and having us a little preview through AI was pretty cool. I thought that that was nice, and I don't have to say it's horrible just because I have to always have that sort of stance, if you know what I mean. Hey guys, editing Metatron here. So this video was inspired by a post that I made on Twitter last night, and I do want to show you this. It's this post here on X, sorry. It's this post here, and I titled it, "So what is your opinion? Is AI art immoral?" And I put the thumbnail for the video. Look at this, in one day, 100, not even one day in fact, 12 hours, 154 comments. Goodness gracious, people have opinions. Of course, do let me know in the comments what you think. Shad, of course, joined and said he pointed me to this video here that I will watch and see if that changes my opinion. And then someone pointed out that the AI art, in fact, made me look older. And they say, no man, that AI image aged you up 30-something to 50-something. It's really true. Yeah, it does make me look a lot older. Although then again, I'm in my 40s, mate. Someone says, awesome, now in armor. And then people have a lot of opinions. Some say yes, some say no. Kind of depends on how you use it, which makes sense. That's kind of like my position, really. If then people say it's like a tool. This one is, I'm an artist who is fairly anti-AI, but the anti-AI users have made me so indifferent with all of this witch hunts, which makes sense. I mean, I think people are pushing it to a point, as I was showing on this video, where they're going into unfair land. This person says AI art steals. By definition, it is immoral. Do you guys agree? An artist here tells us, however, no. No, it isn't. Absolutely not. At the very least, it's lazy. Yeah, sure. So we have a lot of different opinions. AI is not immoral. Is a sword immoral? A sword and axe immoral? So people really seem to be divided. This does not look good though. Some people say it's really good, it's fun. Some people say no, it's really moral, it shouldn't be allowed. So it's like, what's your opinion? I really want to, that's why I'm making this video today. I'm sharing a few positions that I have right now, but I'm open to change my mind or to maybe be pushed a little bit more towards one side or the other, depending on the evidence and the logical arguments that you present. So do please share your opinion in the comments, because I will be reading the comments, and I just ask you to be civil about it. Yeah, look at this guy. He says, I don't know, is theory moral? But this person says, I love AI, art included. So like, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, that's what I'm getting. So yeah, you let me know. But all of this takes us to ChatGPT. Now here's the thing. I have a subscription with ChatGPT because I do use AI or advanced language models for language stuff. So what I do is that I will use it because I want to chat a little bit. So I asked it, since you can talk and it speaks back, I will ask ChatGPT, hey, let's speak some French. Hey, let's speak some Japanese. Let me practice Mandarin. I want to speak Italian today. Let me speak a little. So I do that a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I pay a subscription service. But I also use it when perhaps I'm writing a script and the original research is in Italian. I will take that research that it was sent to me by my team members and I will put it in the AI and ask it to translate it into English as a first translation draft that I can then put on the pages where I'm going to create my script, where I will double check it and see, okay, how is the translation? Usually it does a very good job. I only have to touch it up a little bit. The translation is excellent. The original work is original, of course. And then I will write my own script through the translation so that I don't have to be there and think, wait, how am I going to render this from Italian to English? I don't have to do that. And I think that both Claude AI and ChatGPT are excellent for that sort of job and task. What they're not good at is asking, which is something that other YouTubers have seen them do, and I don't think they should, is asking questions such as, tell me about the Roman Empire, and then it will tell you stuff. But the problem with what they say is that oftentimes it's incorrect, not to mention it uses CE, BCE, that pisses me off, and so I'm going to tell it off now. Don't use BCE, CE. Let me know because it's not done. It keeps telling me stuff, culture, society. So a lot of these things have to absolutely be triple checked, and you cannot use the AI as a base source for your historical information, even biology and science in general and that sort of stuff. It will get stuff wrong, which is of course a problem. Now, if it's something extremely easy, such as Octavianus Augustus becoming the first emperor in 27 BC, then sure, I mean, whatever. But if it's something that is a little more niche, it will get it wrong oftentimes. Now, since I was already a paid member, I saw this entire hype when it comes to the creation of Ghibli-inspired AI art. Let me see if I can find some stuff. Now, once again, hate AI all you want. I'm on your side, and I will always be on the side of the people that love real art, but these look awesome. They look incredible. Like, why would I now? Whether there is an ethical problem when it comes to a copyright situation, other than, again, you can copyright art, but you can't copyright a style. At the end of the day, instead of being Ghibli, which is what went viral, it could have been anime, and anime is it's a style. Manga is a style, and you can't say that you're breaking copyright by making your own manga. It also becomes a little bit of a problem when it comes to that sort of definitions. But I will say ChatGPT is absolutely capable of producing anime art that absolutely looks like it was made by Studio Ghibli. It will get some things wrong. Like, I personally, when it comes to this meme, I think this guy should look at the girl, so it misunderstood this. So, there is that. I remember this guy here. It really does make it look like it. This guy from the Olympics was awesome. The little girl where everything burns down, the cat, and that kind of stuff. Now, is this disrespectful towards the creator, the Ghibli founder? Sure, absolutely. So if you want to defend him, feel free to do it. I mean, I'm not particularly, well, whatever. If that's something that you want to do, you can absolutely do it. But as I say, let's still be realistic when it comes to saying that this looks damn good. Because it does. And I myself decided to try a little bit and see what happens, since I'm already paying for the service anyways. I'm like, hey, let's try this. I didn't post it, but I did make this, and I thought, okay. I mean, it makes me look a lot older than I actually am, but I mean, it did get the hair kind of right, but it screwed up my Armin doublet. I did not see that. This was we used as a baseline a Twitter picture, which is this one here. Then I fed it a picture of me in armor, and that's what it did, which, I mean, it's pretty cool to see myself as an anime, although I don't know what happened to the belt. As I say, AI, right? But yeah, so I did this and misunderstood completely what the, let me show you the original so we know what we're talking about. All right, so this was the original. So clearly the AI misunderstood how the strap is supposed to work, and the armor, I mean, it didn't do a great job. I thought it was funny. And then last but not least, I took a picture of when my wife and I first met 6 years ago now, and ChatGPT turned it into this, which I thought was absolutely adorable. I sent it to my wife. She loved it. It made her happy. So, I mean, sure, it would be nicer, it would be better, absolutely, to ask a real artist and pay them to make us something like this, and it's probably something we will. But to be honest, if this situation with the AI art and the whole Ghibli scenario hadn't happened, I wouldn't have thought of it. So maybe, at least when it comes to me, as with everything, it really depends on what you end up doing with it. For me, it gave me an idea. And it kind of gave us a little preview, and we're like, oh, we love it. This is adorable. So how about we find a real artist, we pay them a commission, and then we have them make something similar, but this time we can, with an artist, I can actually talk, so I can tell him, don't give me a brown beard for whatever the heck reason. And we can have this lovely idea of having my wife and I drawn in an anime way. I think that's really nice. I love it because she's so happy. So that's really the point that I'm trying to draw here. There will still be people that if I were to publish this, they would start assaulting me. They will start writing, oh, how dare you do that? You should. And it becomes like they're fanatics at that point. I'm definitely not an anti-AI fanatic. And I think people are really taking it too far. Always support real artists. I will always support real artists. With that being said, if someone wants to use AI art a little bit, I personally don't have a problem with it. I just choose not to use it for my own personal productions when I can use my own budget because I can pay real artists for it. And that's really as far as it goes. But at the same time, if someone uses AI art and the end product is good, I don't have to now lie and say that I hate it or that it looks ugly simply on principle, which is what a lot of people, I believe, these days are doing. Big topic, of course. Let me know what you think, and I will be looking forward to see if you agree, if you disagree. Maybe you'll change my mind. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but this is how I look at it right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. And remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye.